Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us for Robust second conference. It's indeed a pleasure to have you all here. Well, we had the first Robustus, which happened a couple of days ago, and we had a good amount of participants who were a part of it. And now we've got some very interesting speakers who's going to highlight on different points. We also have certain sessions like importance of time and all. So I think we're just about 2 minutes late, and here we are. Sorry for being about 2 minutes late. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start off. My name is Asif Bey, being the host for at least about 3,000 shows around the globe, being a part of World Cup, IPL, and different shows. And it's my pleasure, my privilege to be a part of this wonderful event, Robustus second conference, which we are about to begin with. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the important reason, the very reason I think most of us are here is basically not wealth, not relationship, and nothing. It's importantly to please the Creator, to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm also here to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I'm sure everyone is here to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Almighty accept all your great deeds you're doing for the community. Ladies and gentlemen, this Robustus second conference, which we are about to begin, I'm sure is going to enlighten on different topics and will be helpful for good number of people. So the first one we had various topics, and we had hundreds of people who were a part of the conference, Robustus first conference, and here we are starting off with the second one, and we're all set to start off. Thanks to 8A, and welcome everyone from All India Muslim Schools who are a part of this show, and 8A. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin with our first session. Well, as we begin our first session, let me tell you about the person who's going to join us for our first session. He has been a coach, and he's been coaching a good number of people. He's an author. He's a content consultant. He's been launching vibrant courses for the youth and families. He specializes in careers, marriage, communication, and business. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who inspires good number of people. I take the privilege of welcoming our first speaker, who's going to talk on ethical wealth. Ethical wealth, that's something, these days we have a turbulent time in terms of wealth. We are looking at alternates. What is right? What is wrong? Is this the way we can earn? Is this the way we cannot earn? Yeah, that's a confusion I'm having in my mind. I'm sure everyone has it too. So I'm sure the confusion will be waved off now, ladies and gentlemen, as I present to you the first speaker of the day with Robustus second conference, who's going to talk on ethical wealth, presenting to you Mr. Nisaar Nadiadwala from Mumbai.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And that was a very, very affectionate introduction. Jazakallah khairan for that. And it's a big pleasure for me to join you all to speak on ethical wealth. And that is my subject of today, ethical wealth. Now, as far as ethical wealth is concerned, when we talk about ethical wealth, we don't only mean that halal income, halal business, halal tourism, halal investment, halal this and halal that. Many people, they restrict ethics of wealth only up to incomes. But wait a minute. The very popular hadith that tells us about the ethical wealth is that a person will not be able to move from his place on the day of judgment till among those questions that he has to answer, one is where and how did he earn, and the other is where and how did he spend. Now, there are many Muslim brothers who are very, very concerned about halal income. They wouldn't even mind remaining unemployed for months and some even for years when they are concerned and they are looking out for a halal income. But from the bunch of these halal boys and halal families and halal careers, little do we recognize and acknowledge the second part of the concept of ethical wealth is we ignore halal expenditure also. And as far as the income and the expense goes, the ethical wealth comes, there are four categories. Let me make it very easy for all my audience to understand. There are four categories. Number one, those who earn from halal and also spend on halal. Number one category, and this category is the best category. The second category is those who earn halal. They spend on halal but also on haram. I will explain each of them. Number third, those who earn haram but they spend on halal. They earn haram but they spend on halal. And number four, they earn haram and they spend on haram. So these are the four categories. So when we do introspection of our wealth to find out how ethical it is essential that we peep into our incomes as well as expenditures. Many people, they are very honest in their jobs and they work very hard, honestly, efficiently. Their income is halal and they spend on halal. They spend on their family, they spend on their parents, they give charity, they help others, relatives who are in needy. So their income is halal, their expenditure is halal, and this is the category which is accepted to Allah. The rest of the three categories will be bundled and thrown away. It will be rejected. Why? Let me explain it. The second category, a person earns from halal, but we see him spending money in cinema theaters, which is haram. Now you cannot say I earn 50,000 rupees. Out of that, if I spend 1 or 2,000 rupees on disobeying Allah, so it is okay. It is not okay. Allah is pure and He loves purity. He loves only pure deeds. So anybody thinking that, because he earns halal, he gets a license to spend a little bit on haram is wrong. He's on a dangerous track. We don't know where that route will lead him to. It is dangerous. Fine. Somebody would be smoking cigarettes. Again, that is haram. So what? I spend only 200 rupees per month out of my 50,000 rupees salary. No. Haram is haram in large quantity as well as small quantity. So there is a category, and many of us fall into this category. If we introspect our accounts and balance sheet, I don't know how many of you actually have a balance sheet of their personal expenditures. If you are a student, I would highly recommend you to have your personal expense diary where the money comes in your pocket or account and where it goes, each rupee, and then you can introspect and check out whether you have really spent the money on ethical route or whether you have spent the money on haram. So you will know even the percentage of your wealth which goes here and there. Fine. So the third category is a person earns haram. He earns haram, but he spends on charities. And there are many people, for example, in the film industry, we see them. There are fashion models, and we see many such people. There are certain politicians, there are certain government officials who are corrupt. They earn a lot of money through non-Islamic way, un-Islamic way. But they spend, they go for Hajj, they go for Umrah, they give charity, they even calculate zakat and give. But what about their income? What about their income? So we come to know that this is also very dangerous. That you get money from halal, you get money from haram, and there are many ways that a person can even merge of haram and halal. A person can even earn money through halal, but then he has a gateway or a window from which the haram also comes. For example, a person gets a salary of 50,000 rupees, but then he has not given the share of his sister in father's property. So now that particular income is haram, and it is dangerous. So there are many such ways of haram. A person earns haram also, and some of them behave like, Robin Hood. You know what is Robin Hood? Especially those people who are into government offices. So they behave like a Robin Hood. They earn haram and they give charity to halal, to poor people, thinking that, Allah will forgive their sins. No, because this insecurity and this corruption in finance is disliked by Allah, is very, very disliked by Allah. Because in the Quran, if you study the punishments that came upon the people of Lut, they had only one punishment. There was a volcano. The people of Nuh alayhi salam, there was one punishment. They were all drowned in a flood. Then the people of, there were other prophets, people of Saleh, people of Hud alayhi salam. So these people, these prophets, the people of these prophets were destroyed by one punishment, except the people of Shoaib alayhi salam. The people of Shoaib alayhi salam met with three punishments according to the Quran. Surah Qasas, Surah Anbiya, Surah Hud. If you read Surah Al-Araf, you will read and note down the punishment when you come across the translation. There was an earthquake, there was a volcano, and there was a loud cry by the angel. Three punishment upon these people. What was the reason? The rest of the gays, the lesbians, they got one punishment. The slaughterers of Saleh's camel got one punishment. And they were all destroyed. But these people, they were destroyed by three punishment. For what? Many of us take the financial immaturity or financial corruption as very light. We don't give properties to our sisters. We take bribes, we take riba, we take loan to build a good house for our children. And this is how many of us get involved in haram. But when we study the condition of the punishment of people of Shu'aib, the people of Midian, we come to know that every time Allah mentions about their punishment, he mentions one sin which is common besides kufr. And that sin was financial forgery. They used to loot people on the highways. They used to do injustice while weighing, giving, selling and buying. So they were all involved in financial corruption. So when you have unethical wealth, there are chances that you might be going on a way towards a destruction. Three punishment, imagine, three punishment for financial forgery and one punishment for lesbianism and gayism. But we Muslims, rightly we hate, we disagree with lesbianism and gayism, but we don't mind happily in snatching away people's properties. We don't give rights to our sister. We don't give right to our daughter. We don't give financial right to our wife or our mother after our father dies. There is a fight in the courts. If you go and check out the statistics of high courts and civil courts, you will notice a large number of Muslims families are fighting over property. What is the reason? What is the reason? There are Muslims who come out with forgery. They open a business and they invite people to join their business. Partner, one partner, two partner, the relatives, the friends, they invite, they invest the money in their business, and then due to inefficiency or dishonesty, the business runs in loss because the financial ethics were not performed. That is why when we talk about ethical wealth, the third category is very dangerous. We are earning haram, means a large part of our income is haram. Even if 1 rupee is haram, it is dangerous for us. But we think, shaitan is making us think that, you perform Hajj, you perform Umrah, Allah will forgive you, all your sins will be pardoned. But the sin of snatching away human being's right is not pardonable till he himself pardons you. And this is well known to all of us. This is well known to all of us that a sin committed by you usurping or snatching away somebody's right, financial right, is very important today. Today we are not, there are boys who do not even give meher. They promise a big amount, but then they evade it. And you come across many such cases about finance. People ask for dowry from girls. Again, this is their unethical income because somebody's father wants to get his daughter settled. So the poor fellow is, parting with his hard-earned money. So now there are many ways which has been, discovered, unethical ways discovered by our brothers and some of our sisters, that unethical income flows in our coffers, in our accounts, and then we are happy that we give zakat, we are happy that we gave away the riba to some poor people, we are happy that we went for Hajj and Umrah and we go for Umrah every year. So this is a new type of corruption that has been emerging, and we have to be very, very careful about it. Now going back to the fourth category, haram income and haram expenditure. This surely follows especially the people of many film industries and other streams. There are people working in bank also. They earn haram and they spend also in haram. They don't mind. Why? Because the heart becomes hard. And Allah tells in Surah Al-Baqarah that their hearts have become hard because of their sins, as hard as rocks. Then Allah proceeds further and says, no, there are certain hearts which are harder than rocks, because there are rocks through which water streams out. There are rocks which they blow off themselves out of the fear of Allah. Some rocks are beneficial, but a human heart which turns into a rock becomes very difficult to suck the goodness that comes around him, in terms of lectures, in terms of reciting Quran, in terms of listening to talks. These things don't affect because the hearts have become hard. So brothers and sisters, you must keep a diary of yours. This is my income, my salary, my daddy gave me this money, and my sister gifted me this, blah, 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 blah. All there is an income, and you are happy about your income, 100% halal. But then the real threat comes, as I said earlier, from the right-hand side, where your expenses go. You blew away your money by extravagant. Your capacity was to host only 50 people in Walima, but you invited 500 people for 3 hours of pomp and show. Then you spent a lot of money in decorations and hall, then lavish food items, caterers. Imagine, for the sake of 3 hours, we are spending out lavishly. Walima is sunnah, but overspending in Walima is again questionable by Allah. He can question you. So we have to be very careful about things when it comes to expenses. So make a list of your day-to-day expenses. And at the end of the day, before you go to sleep, have a check on it and tick with a red pen which were un-Islamic and unethical wealth that went out from your pocket. Imagine you are working so hard, you have sacrificed so much of your efforts to get halal income. You sacrificed many lucrative opportunities of jobs, lucrative and tempting opportunities of business, because there was disobedience of Allah in those income. But when we come to halal expenses, unfortunately, many of us get tempted. We cannot resist. We cannot resist. And because we cannot resist, we give away thinking Allah maaf karega, Allah Ghafurur Rahim, Allah Ghafurur Rahim. Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. But then Allah has a sunnat also, that if He can punish the people of Shuaib with 3 punishments, how can Allah be unjust towards them and leave us and say, oh, you are Muslims, you pray 5 times, so you go to paradise, no matter whose wealth you have eaten up, no matter whose bribe have you taken, no matter this and that, no matter. No, it is not like that. It is not like that. It is going to be very dangerous on the day of judgment. You have to stand to give accounts. You will be happily going to Allah when Allah talks to each one of us. He will be taking interview. And you will be happily going there, all halal income for 50 years of my job. And then when He shows the account of expenditure and you are doomed. Do you want that to happen to you? No. None of us want us to happen. None of us want us to stand in the queue for a long time and then discover that you are on the loser side, losing side. So what do we do? What do we do? We go and check out our expenses. And this is the sunnah of Sahaba, especially the governors and the Khulafai Rashidin. They used to check where their money goes, their individual money, the coffers they were made in charge of. So being rich is not unethical, but being lavish, extravagant, like Quran says that innal mubaddirina kanu ikhwanu shayateen. Indeed, the mubaddir, who are these people? They are the people who blow away the money where it is not required. For example, smoking is not required, is haram, but you blow away money in smoking. One packet of cigarette, 100 rupees per day, 200 rupees per day. I don't know the rates going on. But then at the end of the year, how much money has gone? How much money has gone? Even it is 24,000. It is not a less amount. It can run the kitchen of one family, of a middle class. Imagine we are blowing away the money. Similarly, if you catch the other accounts where our money goes in haram, you will notice it's a big. So Mubaddir is Ikhwanu Shayateen, brothers of Shaitan. And Shayateen, Allah says he was ungrateful to Allah. So when Allah gives you halal wealth, you have to thank him by spending him on halal. You have to spend on halal, and this is a way to be grateful to Allah. Otherwise, you are ungrateful. You are happy. Shaitan is making you happy. No, don't worry, your halal income. But have a check on your halal expenses also. So this is something that has to be concerned. So this was a very, very small cautionary note which I wanted to present before all of my brothers and sisters. And Jazakallah khairan to all the brothers over here, whoever are Mr. Asif, Brother Omar Sharif, and each and every audience that has been present over here. As a part of my honor, respect that you chose to come and sit and listen to me instead of watching some TV or scrolling on Facebook, watching current events. You decided to listen to this young brother of yours speaking on something which might pain you or pinch you. Yet you came and prefer to listen. May Allah bless us and may Allah accept our gathering and forgive our sins. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khair.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nisaar sir, what a wonderful opening it was. Thank you so much. We were privileged to have you here, and it is really energizing. No wonder your forte, your designation goes perfectly with the right content, being the coach and the author. And the best thing you told today, especially, is what Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anha used to practice. Whatever you're spending every day, make a note of it. I think subconsciously that'll make you really consciously, yeah, this I spent in a wrong way. So that's one really good thing. And ethical wealth, importantly, the very interesting point you told here is only earning ethical wealth is just not sufficient. Are you spending it ethically? That's also to be noted, which is a real part of the wealth. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Inshallah, may Allah guide us, and we earn ethically and we also spend ethically, and may Almighty make us all wealthy so that we spend it in the right way. Thank you so much. So ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Nisaar Nadiadwala for us. Thank you.